All right. I think we're good. Cue dramatic NFL music. Dun, 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 dun. I cannot sing. But Ernie, you got it?
I'm trying to think of the... Dun, dun, dun.
No,
that's something else. What is that?
This is music you will not hear for the next 6 months. Be sad. And welcome to our episode that is not normally like most of our episodes, but once a year. Mm-hmm. If I do a sports episode, Ernie's here.
Always.
And this is our annual now. Yeah. Quarterback Stoplight edition for Don't Involve Me. This is where we get to review the Super Bowl, to talk about the trailers in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. We get to do our QB Stoplight, which it's a fun game. I think you really, really liked.
I loved it. Yeah, it was fun.
And yeah, I think for me, it's always a fun thing to do. Mm-hmm. Just mentally, I do it. I already did it. And like when you messaged me, like, hey, we should do this, I was already like literally going through at the same time you messaged me.
All right.
But yeah, that's what we're doing this episode.
Let's do it.
All right. Want to say the words?
Cue the music.
Welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash Ketchum's Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up, and we also sing the final countdown instead of actual NFL music.
At least we sang it well, though, you know.
It's the final countdown. So we did not name it at the time that we were doing it. Well, that's the cold open for you. We never know. Well, welcome, guys. As you heard in the intro, the cold open. This is our NFL episode. We're talking Super Bowl news. Just reviewing the NFL with Ernie, sports guy Gardner. Hello,
sports guy. Kill Cassie Gardner. It's good to be here again. It's been a while.
It's been dude. It's actually, if you think about it, it's a year now. Yeah, happy 1 year anniversary of hashtag Kill Cassie.
That's right. Yeah. Wow.
Instead, the person who got killed was Jonathan Majors.
Oh God.
King is dead, y'all. Not in the way that we thought.
Yeah, well, you know, R.I.P.
Well, Ernie, welcome. It's been a while.
Yes, sir.
Last time I think you've been on the show was D&D session 0, right?
The first one, yep. The introduction one, yep. Mm-hmm.
Sadly missed session 1. Or one shot, Scourge of the Wendigo. Mm-hmm. We were just I was letting Ernie know some of the things that were happening without giving too much details. He's got to listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've listened to some of it, but I haven't listened to all of it yet.
Oh, for session 0?
Yeah, I've listened to
I was going to say, I haven't released the new one yet, so I'm still working on it. I was working on it this morning. Mm-hmm. 5 hours, 5 mics.
Were you guys spirited that day?
Huh?
Were you guys a little spirited that day, too, or just kind of just...
What do you mean by spirited?
You know, just...
Actually, I think we were all sober.
Oh, nice.
We were, like, more sober than... I mean, like, we didn't have Ro, who, like, brought 3 bottles of whiskey or scotch.
Yeah.
We didn't have the DM popping gummies left and right. Like, yeah, like, it was a rather good, quick session.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited to have you back.
Yep, I'm excited.
I'll be honest though, I think Turlo likes the fact that he didn't have a rogue to compete with. He probably would be a little jealous.
That's fair. But I'm excited to be back on that one too. I'm sad I missed the D episode.
Yeah, I mean we missed you too, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it'll be fun. Let's get into it. Ernie Gardner, what have you been nerding out to? It's good 3 months. You got a lot of things to update.
Yeah, I do. Let's see. Not a lot, to be honest. I've been watching a lot of Netflix. Here's what I've been nerding out on: drug shows. I watched all winter. I've been watching drug shows.
Drug shows?
Yeah, like Snowfall. I watched Breaking Bad again.
Okay.
Watch Breaking Bad again.
That's what you meant by drug shows.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying drag shows, but you were just saying it so weird that I didn't know.
Oh, my bad. Nah. So I watched Ozark, all of it. I watched Breaking Bad, all of it again, which is like the 5th time I watched Breaking Bad. Snowfall, and I just kind of ranked them in my head.
Snowfall, a drug show?
Yep, called the Cocaine 80s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
I do have Breaking Bad because I was doing the summer. I think you were there for a few.
Mm-hmm. You and Seth are watching, right?
Yeah, we did Breaking Bad, and we kind of stopped with Better Call Saul. Not so much because Better Call Saul was boring. It was more or less like I got hooked on One Piece.
That's fair.
In that show, we're still going pretty strong. Anytime's like, what have you turning out on One Piece?
That's all you need to say.
That's like the one thing. I think we're on 432.
Okay.
Brandon surpassed me.
Really?
Yeah, he's like 2 weeks ago. He told me he like went past where I was, and that's all he's been doing. The other thing I've been learning. Well, actually, before I go, drug shows. What else?
That's really it.
Drug shows.
Yeah, I work a lot, man. I just
like,
so I haven't really been able to like put my mind on anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Spring break's coming up though, so maybe I'll find something to get into.
Yeah, it is. I think spring break I'm gonna go into the other studio and get some work on that, get some cleaning done, because that's going to be my summer project, just getting that ready to go.
Nice.
Turn the Don't Evolve Me studio into that studio.
Nice, dope. Okay, cool.
And we can do D&D sessions in there without like anybody else like we're coming in. No kids. Sapphire doesn't have to worry about like who's coming into the house.
Right.
All right. Discord keeps going off, so I'm gonna take that down.
Pretty good.
Baldur's Gate's been like a game I've been playing for like 3 or 4 months. It takes me forever to like get into it, and it's so hard to like. So much focus and thought. I was showing you a little bit this morning. Baldur's Gate. So that's always been on my nerdy list. Otherwise, D&D. I created a new character last night.
Oh yeah,
just for like the fun of it. A happy paladin dwarf who's like all about like justice and like enjoyment, and so he's essentially like just happy-go-lucky dwarf that is like, I'm gonna fight people. Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, pretty basic, but I'm like, that'd be fun to do.
And
then Pokemon Violet DLC. I decided to finally F it, bought it, started playing it, somewhat regret it. It's like, it's fine. The new Pokemon games, like now with Power World coming out, like Power World looks so nice and fresh, whereas like this game just doesn't look great at all, even with like the new DLC.
Oh, really?
Like it looks fine, but just I've been playing Arceus too, and going from Arceus to like Scarlet and Violet, whereas Arceus you can interact with the world at least a little bit more because Pokemon are like indeed trying to fucking kill you, whereas like in Sword and Shield they're just kind of there, and I'm like, this is. It's like one of those, you see Power World doing such a great job, and you're like, man, I wish Pokemon could like, ramp it up a little bit and actually be the game that we all want.
Yeah.
So, but I bought the DLC. It's fine.
Okay.
It's just more of the same.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Nice. Let's get into the news.
It's time for a news quickie. Oh yeah.
So not much news. This is mostly going to be a special episode. But there's a few of them.
Okay.
And we'll lead into Super Bowl trailers after this, because it's more. They are linked.
Okay.
First bit of news: Madam Web. Ernie, have you watched it? Do you plan on watching it?
I plan on watching it, but I
plan on watching it at some point. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to watch it in trailers or in theaters, because it looks like hot garbage, man. I forgot it was coming out.
I did too, actually. Yeah.
And then it came out, and I'm like, oh, what's the review on it? Straight trash. I don't know if I even like. My job is to cover it. Like, this is something I would cover, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to cover it. And I'm sorry, guys.
You gotta do it.
Like, I'll cover it eventually. I'll watch it eventually. I don't know if I want to go to theaters to watch it.
Fair.
Like, that's the heart. Like, I don't know if I wanted to go to theaters to review it and just say the same thing that everybody else is like saying.
You gotta get your own judgment on it, but I completely understand it. Like, I forgot it was even coming out, like you said. So
if I like would have remembered, I probably would have been like one of the first days I would have just went.
No.
I did Aquaman recently, The Lost Kingdom, to review it, and I ended up going a month later, and I just dreaded going into the theaters to do it because I had a whole week to watch it before I was going to review it, and I did not go until the very last day, and I didn't even want to. And then I go in, I'm like, this movie's trash. And I can't do that for another movie. I have a hard time getting enough energy to get out of the house, especially with our role, our job. It's a lot of heavy burnout. So it gets really hard to get excited. This is fun. This is easy. This isn't much too. It's it's energy, but it's not too much energy. I also get kind of re-energized while doing this too.
Yeah.
Whereas man, going to movie theaters, being out in public, watching a trash movie like that, it's hard. I can do it for a good movie. Trash movie? Yeah.
Fair.
Other news. This is probably the biggest news. Fantastic Four has finally been casted. Ernie, did you hear?
I'm not here.
She's not here. All right. Reed Richards is being played by Pedro Pascal.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Hollywood daddy himself is now going to be Marvel's daddy.
All right.
Reed Richards, head of the family, the first family, first Marvel family. Now he's the dad of the first Marvel family. It's fitting.
It's only right.
I don't know how I felt about it when I heard the news. It's been rumored for the last month or two. And Pedro's great. He's gonna be great in the role.
Yeah.
He'll put his own spin. I just I'm I don't know if he's Reed Richards. He'll make it his own Reed Richards, but I don't know if he's comic book Reed Richards.
I think I don't know. I think I kind of like you said. He'll put it on a spin on it. I think he has the range and just the continuity.
He does.
Yeah, to do it. I think he'll be pretty good at it.
They also cast the rest of the family. So Vanessa Kirby, I don't know much of her, but she's gonna be Sue Storm.
Okay.
She very much looks the part.
Oh.
She was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Well,
Clearly the role that I only knew. I don't really remember her role that much. I don't remember that movie that much. That was one of those movies that I watched, but I didn't really watch it.
That's fair.
And that movie, I tried rewatching it, and yeah, same thing. So the rest of it, I am blanking. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. He's going to be played by Joseph Quinn. For those who don't remember, he is Eddie on Stranger Things season 4. I'm excited for that role now. I think he can play he seems like he can play a pretty good Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
but kind of a small casting for that role.
Yeah. I kind of like it though. I kind of like that though. I like when they go for kind of the more. I don't want to say lower names, but
Oh, I forget the guy. What his name was? Ebon Moss, I believe, plays the Thing. He played Microchip in Punisher season 1, which makes this really interesting. So I don't know if you heard this news. Netflix shows are now canon in the MCU, officially canon.
Really?
Even on Disney Plus, they put it as part of the MCU timeline officially. So now we one of the big classic rules for Marvel was it can't be casted multiple times unless it was a voice acting role live action. That was the only exception. But now with Daredevil and with all these Netflix shows, we're getting recast into live action MCU. It's interesting because there's multiple roles. Marshall Ali, he was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, but now he's going to be Blade.
Yeah.
And now we have Eben Moss. I feel like that's not completely right, but he'll be playing Microchip and then now the Thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
And recasting works. It's fine to have multiple characters. If we can have Terrence Howard along with Don Cheadle as War Machine and get by with it, Edward Norton, same with we can get by with this.
Yeah. So what are your feelings and expectations for Fantastic Four personally?
It has to be great.
That's fair. I agree.
This is. I would be more excited if Marvel wasn't going on a downward spiral right now, as it feels like it is. I would be more excited for it. I do think it just has to be great. I will say though, I'm excited that Marvel is like Fantastic Four is finally like coming to MCU. I just don't know how where my hopes are.
I feel that.
Just in general, that's how I feel with like Marvel right now.
That is exactly how I feel. Marvel is just kind of disappointing me to the point where I really don't even have expectations anymore, to be honest with you.
Like the bar's 3. Like it's a 3 rating. It's like it's going to be good. It's going to be watchable. It's going to be like some people are going to enjoy it. Is it going to be great? Yeah. I don't know if I can expect much greatness out of Marvel anymore. I think we'll at least like that's from show to show, from movie to movie. I don't know if we can expect it anymore. We'll see. Last bit of news though, and we can kind of segue into this as we already are. Deadpool and Wolverine released their trailer on Superbowl.
Yes.
It was like the first and basically the main trailer I wanted to talk about, but also kind of lead into the whole Marvel discussion since, Ernie, you are one of our Marvel guys. Deadpool and Wolverine has finally been announced. It's not Deadpool 3, it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Interesting, yeah.
And they pretty much brought almost every main character back from the Deadpool 1 and 2. Right. At least like for the initial scene, and then we have the TVA jumping in. And then now it's going to be this huge story. What's your excitement for Deadpool and Wolverine?
I'm actually very excited. Deadpool is one of my favorites. But it's kind of like you were saying with Fantastic Four. Like I don't think they can really mess with Deadpool. Deadpool's just one of those characters he's easily marketable. But at the same time, like they have to hit. They have to hit. Yeah, it has to hit.
It does. I'm excited for this one. I'm probably excited for this one more than I am Fantastic Four at this point in time because I think like if this movie's a 3, it's still going to be a pretty good 3. Like my ceiling of expectations probably like 4 plus. Lowest is probably like 3 plus. Like it's going to be a good movie.
It has to be tenfold.
Yeah, but like this is where I'm scared. If this movie sucks, this movie flops. The MCU might be dead.
I was just thinking that. This is the last. I was saying with that and Guardians.
Well, Guardians did really, really well. If Guardians sucked too, they would have probably tanked the franchise, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, I believe, is one of those movies. Even if it's a 5, even if they knock it out of the park, like the franchise is only be saved if the other movies following it is good
as well.
Good to great, if not at least great, for it to be saved. Whereas if this movie's trash or just meh, it might tank the MCU. It might. I don't think it will, but it'll be like a dagger almost, like nail in the coffin.
It'll be on life support. Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I don't know.
Still a Blade too, but I think you're right. I think. Yeah, that'd be one to kill shots.
Who do you think the villain is?
And
Deadpool Wolverine.
I don't know.
I think Wolverine's going to be like, because it's a Deadpool movie, but it's also called Wolverine. My big question is like, is Wolverine going to be like as big as Deadpool in this movie?
That's what I think it is going to be like, which is kind of, I don't know. I was one of the people that wanted Deadpool 3, just Deadpool 3.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know where they go with it.
I'm hoping this is like Deadpool kills the Fox universe. I'm hoping this is where they go with it, and they're just going after a bunch of like Fox X-Men characters. I think some of the plot is based on that because there is like the 20th Century Fox logo in the background of like leaked photos. We'll see. I don't know. I'm excited for it. My hopes aren't too high. It won't save the MCU, but it's the only MCU project we're probably getting, at least until late fall. We might get a show, but as far as we know, this is the only MCU project,
right?
And it might be like one of those needed delays because it sounds like they're revamping everything, retooling, redoing the story, and they need to.
I agree,
because I don't know what the fuck they were planning for Phase 4, Phase 5. Like they had all the shows and stuff planned, but I'm like, this it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere.
I don't know if you felt this way. I kind of felt this way, but it just felt like everything was just its own separate piece. Like there's nothing, there's no continuity with anything right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like a bunch of mid stories that didn't really feel connected to a larger story.
Yeah.
So we'll see though. Marvel last year disappointed me. I don't know if you listened to the Don't Involve Me award show that I did.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Best or worst movie was Ant-Man for me. Or most disappointing movie and most disappointing TV show is Secret Invasion. Both those projects were just deeply disappointing. Like DCEU, if you wanted to say like one of the 4 movies were like great, I'm like, I had no expectations for those 4 movies, and they all were at least like somewhat decent. Aquaman is probably the worst one. Shazam, you can probably hate on a little bit, but like it was at least a good, solid, generic movie. Blue Beetle was a solid origin film. The Flash had pretty good parts, though watching Across the Spider-Verse before Flash made that movie suck. You have one movie that like beautifully, flawlessly does the multiverse, and you have the Flash who flawlessly did it. Yeah, it makes one movie look a lot better than the other.
Yeah.
But anyway, Super Bowl trailers, Deadpool, Wolverine, probably my favorite one. And honestly, there's not much more that I really wanted to talk about it. How'd you feel
about the trailers?
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't know. I'm not like excited. I just kind of just waiting. I'm just kind of on wait and see mode when it comes to all that.
Like nerd movies, there's not a whole lot. Like there was The Quiet Place Day 1. That was like decent. And I'm like, it's not really nerdy. I don't even know I don't think I'm going to review it. I'm interested because I'm interested in the Quiet Place universe. But to me, it's one of those films I'm like, I didn't really need it. Didn't know it was coming out. Like, I'll probably watch it. It would be interesting, but it's not,
doesn't raise your hairs up.
The other 2 is John Krasinski. He's directing another one called If, where it's about like what if if there's a person who can see imaginary friends, and you have all these different voices like Ryan Reynolds and all these different actors. I'm like, I'm interested simply just because of the creative talent behind it, not so much in the nerd aspect of it. And the only other movie that like I think like nerd wise comes to play is the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes film. And Matt Reeves isn't a part of this film. And he only did 2 of them. But this is always like a franchise to me. I'm like, I don't really need more of this franchise.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. Like I just think I've seen enough of Planet of the Apes personally. Maybe it's just our generation though.
Maybe.
But I'm just done with I'll go see it probably. Maybe I'll see it in theaters, but
I probably won't see it in theaters unless it's like reviewed to be as like a really great film, and if it is, awesome. Yeah. But it's one of those like, yeah, this is a franchise I don't need more of. I never really I didn't ask for it initially, but I thought it was at least like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes with James Franco, and then the other 2 with Matt Reeves. I'm like, they were really good, and honestly, like I got excited for it just because the directing, the quality was great. Yeah. Yeah, as far as like Super Bowl trailers though for like movies, not a whole lot this year. But to be fair, there's not a whole lot going out, at least movie wise. Right. This movie's kind of bare in the bones thanks to the strike. Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Bad for the business though. Well, bad for this business. Podcasting business. Good for them. Good for the business overall. But yeah, it delays everything. Means that we have to go backwards a little bit and go back catalog, but yeah, that's fine.
Whatever pushes forward though.
All right, should we go into sports?
Let's do it.
Sports.
Dem sports. Sports ball.
You see what I did there? Dem sports. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a channel.
Yeah. I like it.
Those look the name. I have a couple other ideas. All right, NFL review. The Chiefs won again, just as the script is planned.
Yep, the Swifties are happy.
The Swifties are happy. The Swifties who don't even care about football, but generated $300 million of revenue for the NFL. It was planned, folks. Taylor Swift, she was the winner all along.
Did you see? Quick side note: did you see when they're interviewing Roger Goodell and they asked him that question and he could not answer it with a straight face?
No.
I was like, okay.
Did you see President Biden?
Mm-mm.
Did you see his tweet?
Mm-mm.
He literally did with like the red demonic eyes. He's like, just as soon as the Chiefs won, he's like, just as I planned it all along. Because like, did you hear about the theory? That the NFL's rigged, that they're gonna rig it. As the Chiefs win and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are like celebrating, he's gonna propose to Taylor Swift, and together they're gonna endorse Joe Biden in front of everybody.
Oh God,
that was the plan. That was the theory.
That's a theory. Okay,
Republican theory, of course. And so when the Chiefs won, Joe Biden was just like, just as I drew it up. I'm like, that's a pretty good joke on his part. I mean, we'll ignore the genocide going on, but you know, I'll give him an A+ for the joke itself. We don't get too political here on Don't Involve Me, but we're also doing sports, so you know what? Better mix it all together.
Oh God.
So, what was your thoughts on the NFL season? Super Bowl itself, Chiefs winning it again. Mahomes now 3-time Super Bowl winner.
3 times. As a whole, I think it was a very entertaining season, to be honest. I enjoyed it. A lot of new faces. When we get into the whole quarterback thing, my quarterback list is just trash compared to how this season went.
Yeah.
It was an overall entertaining season. The postseason was very good. I was very entertained by the postseason.
Same. Yeah.
It was very good postseason. Very good games. Very close games. No blowout. I don't think there was any really blowouts.
Any what?
Any blowouts all postseason?
I mean, the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, that's well, you know, I forgot about the Cowboys.
The Cowboys, Bucks over Eagles. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
That was kind of like that surprising, like
Good for
Eagles.
Baker Mayfield. I'm actually happy for that man. He's gonna get his money in the offseason. He deserves it. He
He'll
took
get
a
his
lot of
money
flack.
somewhere. I don't know if it'll be Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they said
Well,
they're gonna offer it him.
All right, well, they'll offer him a contract. I don't know. There was reports saying that he wanted like $40 million a year.
Yeah, well,
And then he came back, or there was other reports saying that he wanted $25 million a year, which is like a lot more feasible.
Yeah, I think they said that he was looking for or was going to be offered like 3 years, $82 million, something like that. I think it's what they're.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think that's what he's about worth.
I feel like that's like within his market.
Yeah.
And honestly deserving on his part. And he's going to be a good solid QB for any team that wants him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think he proved that this year.
He earned it. I think he did earn that. As for the Super Bowl itself, I thought it was a great game, even though I was falling asleep during it. And
I mean, it was boring up until like the last
fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
If this game was scripted, it was scripted pretty well.
I agree.
I
agree.
The whole scripting aspect of it, I'll save it for later because it's a channel idea that I have that I kind of want to pitch.
Okay.
But we'll save that till the end. But as far as like story building or scripting, the Niners are like a great opponent to defeat. Because I was looking at it this way, like what would be better for the league, Niners winning or Chiefs winning? And I'm not going like Taylor Swift money or anything like that. I just mean simply just like story wise, what's better? Niners winning it, you get the Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Like, yeah, that's cool, but it's also kind of like feels sequelish to Tom Brady almost. Christian McCaffrey is like this Hall of Fame talent. You know, put it on his resume. That's not bad. Kyle Shanahan finally gets a win. Not bad. Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Fred Warner. Like, them winning it, like, yeah, it's not bad. But they're also, like, great on paper, and they're just a great team to defeat in the Super Bowl, especially twice.
Yeah.
Because when you look back with, like, Mahomes winning it, like, look at his opponents, though. He had 2 stacked teams.
Yeah.
Niners twice and the Eagles once. And he only lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Of course, everyone's going to, ignore the context of the fact that his line was like he lost 2 linemen, and the Tampa Bay's strength is defensive line.
Yeah.
And if you watch that game, that's pretty much
That's why
what
he
the
lost.
story was. The game.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes was running around making miracles happen left and right, and they're just like,
Yeah.
or he was trying to do miracles left and right, and it just, yeah,
Mm.
can't really do much when you can't throw the ball.
Exactly. And I kind of agree with that to your point too. Like the 49ers feel like that team that they're a good almost team. They almost got it. Like kind of like Shanahan, like you said with Shanahan and Purdy. It would have been a great story for seeing them win. I really am a Christian McCaffrey fan as well. So I would have been okay if they would have won. But I think the story that would have been better is Mahomes getting that second, and now he's going for that third in a row, that unprecedented kind of thing. I think that's kind of the better setup.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they built the game up very well. Like you said, it was very slow, and it just kind of built up into a very, very good game. And yeah, I think. What do you think about Mahomes getting the 3P? What do you feel about that?
3P? I didn't think he was going to win these last two Super Bowls. His team was not set up for him to win. It was supposed to be a rebuild twice now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't know. That defense was stout this year, though.
Yeah, this defense was unrated. Like, very great.
Yeah.
Arguably had the best defense in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went in the playoffs, I'm like, this team might win it simply because of defense.
Mm-hmm.
They, like, between the Niners and the Ravens, they might have the better defense in those three.
Mm-hmm.
They're going against the Dolphins, who are, limping into the playoffs, and it's super cold. They have Josh Allen's number. They also kind of have the Ravens' number.
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened.
Exactly. It kind of felt like, what was that, 2017, where Brady went against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and they won, like, what was it, like 13-3 or something like that?
Yeah.
That defensive game, that defensive Super Bowl that everyone hated to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad for the game. I thought that was going to kind of be that Super Bowl for Mahomes.
Oh, you mean Brady Rams?
Yes,
Yeah.
Brady when he beat the Rams. Yeah.
Fucking hated that game.
Yeah.
MVP, Tony Romo, because he made the game bearable.
That's what I kind of felt like it was going to be for Mahomes. I thought it was going to be like that, just defensive Super Bowl that he's just going to pull it out and just do just enough to get it.
Basically what it was.
Yeah.
But it's just enough was like, god damn, at the end of the game, somehow pulls it, like, all, just has that miraculous, like, final drive. And I think everyone knew
what was going to happen.
Yeah, like, oh, they let Mahomes get the ball back and they only need to score a touchdown to win. Like, yeah, it's very Brady-like. You just knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened.
Yep.
Like, we all knew it was going to happen. It happened. Nicole Hardman didn't even realize he won.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently he blanked out in that spot. He's just like...
Yeah.
So, I thought it was a good Super Bowl. I thought... it's weird that the Chiefs are winning it, but it's not weird at the same time. Just the whole team didn't feel like
it didn't feel like a championship team. It just felt
at least offensively, no.
Yeah.
And defensively, they don't have the stars for it to be like, oh wow,
right. But as a team, it was very impressive to me. I think this is his most impressive run, in my opinion.
Well,
and
I mean, think about who they beat: the Dolphins.
Yep.
Arguably the second best team in the AFC up until the last week.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Bills at home or at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Lamar Jackson, the MVP, and the Ravens. And Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then they beat the number one team in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like, goddamn, yeah.
No, yeah, I was like, what can you really say about it at this point?
It's rigged. My friend was going off on the Baltimore-Kansas City game about it being rigged. He's like, the refs, they have it out for everybody but Kansas City. And, like, I remember that whole game. We're on this text thread, and we're just me and this other guy were making fun of it. And the next day, he just, like, for a whole week, kept, like, taking screenshots of plays. Like, this was a missed call. This was a missed call. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like... Make your case the day of. Yeah, maybe make your case afterwards, but shut up after.
It's over now. Like, yep.
Did not do that. At least to be. I got to a point where I was like, please just stop for the love of God. Stop texting me this. You want to text the other guy it? And the other guy was kind of egging it on too. I'm like, if you want to do that, fine. Just shut up. All right. Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody was complaining about Taylor Swift getting too much attention, what was your thought process?
To be honest, it doesn't really bother me. Like, I don't know. Like, This is more like, I don't want to say it was annoying. It was just like, I don't know. Like, it didn't really bother me. It was just like, whatever, celebrities being celebrities, to be honest. It never really affected my judgment of the game or anything like that.
That's how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, it was just kind of like, cool. Like, they're dating now. She's there supporting him. She's there. Like, she's like probably the biggest pop star of 21st century. Mm-hmm. Like, she's dating football star. They're getting publicity. I'm like, good for the NFL. Good for them.
Yeah.
But the complaints, especially when it comes to like politics, like Republicans complaining about it, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's football.
Yeah,
like,
right. It's just like
stay in your own lane.
He's a pop star and a football player. Like, that's perfect match.
Or like she's rooting football there. It's all about Taylor Swift. I'm like, dude, she showed her like for 30 seconds.
Right, like that. I never understood. Like, how is she ruining football? Like, because they do a little tidbit on her, or what? Yeah. Like, I mean, come on.
I'm so sick of seeing her. I'm like, don't
watch Chiefs games. Like,
don't watch the game or like deal with it. It's 30 seconds. Like you can close your eyes a little bit.
I'm like, what about this woman is like ruining the game? Like, she's, I don't know. But
I don't get it either. I never understood the hate for it. Like, it's a celebrity girlfriend supporting. It's whatever.
Yeah, just like
Jessica Simpson did it. Simone Biles is doing it now.
Yeah, no one ever threw shade on her or anything.
Of course, she's the biggest like pop star, in
the world. Yeah,
in the world.
I get
still,
that, but
get over it. I just like Charles Barkley. Is like, if anyone who's like has a problem with this, you're a loser. Like, get the fuck over it. You're a grown ass man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Like, why is this bothering you? Like, I never understood it. It never really bothered me. It never affected my judgment of the game. So, I don't know. I was all like, after a certain point, I was just annoyed that people are getting annoyed, and I'm like, this is like such a non-subject. It made fun to troll people. That's for sure.
It was.
It was fun to troll people.
So after a certain point, I'm like, man, go Chiefs, because fuck those guys. Yeah. Like, this is now just fun for me. Right. Like, you guys complaining about it, like, this is feeling my enjoyment.
Right.
All right, big questions now. Mm-hmm. Mahomes. Mm-hmm. You were going to ask me the question of where do you think Mahomes is now after 3 Super Bowls? Mm-hmm. And I wrote a question in here. Is he the GOAT, or is he in that category of GOAT status? Or where does he rank all time now?
I think he's in that Brady, Montana, him. I think that's the tier now. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah,
I would agree. I think like he won 3. He's already won 6 consecutive years in the AFC Championship. Mm-hmm. Stats wise, hasn't been super amazing in comparison to like Peyton Manning. Maybe it is. Actually, I think for 6 years he might be above Peyton Manning. But like, you think after his first season, he hasn't had that quite of like level of production since then. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, 6 years, 3 championships, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 6 AFC championships, like
3 MVPs too, or 3 Super Bowl MVPs and 2 MVPs.
He had a stacked team initially. Not even, I would say, decently stacked. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily like Niners stacked, but he had Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. He had Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. He has Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. But now, going to it, like this year, probably the worst team he's ever had. Mm-hmm. Kelce's old.
Yeah, I would say offensively, the worst offense he's ever had.
Offensively. Mm-hmm. Defensively, though, like outside of Frank Clark, outside of him, I mean, L'Jarius Sneed, Bolton, Trent McDuffie, but these are all young guys. You don't really know. All right. Just like what he did, just playing enough, beating these teams, just doing enough to beat these teams. I think 3 Super Bowls, you put him in that GOAT category. And the whole like, is he better than Brady? I don't care. Like, I personally think he's more talented than Brady ever was, especially the first 6 years, because Brady wasn't that good the first 6 years. Right. He was a winner. He did like the little things that won championships, but he wasn't carrying any team. Mahomes is arguably carrying teams on top of like being carried this year too. Yeah, like he's doing both, and that's like, I feel like the nuance of like the position people don't understand. Like Brock Purdy, people are like reaming in on Brock Purdy. Oh, he's not that great. Oh, he's not MVP. I'm like, bitch, like, you guys watch the games. yes, he's not carrying the team, but he's doing so much little things, and he's putting his team in the best position to win.
Right.
The whole game managing situation, like, that's not a diss that people don't like. It's not the diss that people don't realize that it is. Mahomes is an amazing game manager. Brady was like the ultimate game manager. He wasn't great because he was the best thrower of the football.
Right.
He was great because he was one of the greatest managers. Peyton Manning wasn't great because he was a great thrower. Arguably, his long ball was like shaky.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
He threw a lot of ducks. Yeah.
Because he knew how to fucking manage the line of scrimmage. He would audible out of... Like, you ever see him and Ray Lewis go back and forth between audibles? Like, Ray Lewis was the manager of defense. Like, those, like, he's the manager of the offense. Right. Like, he is essentially just a coach. It surprises me that he's not a head coach because he would be brilliant at it.
Yeah, he would be.
So, I don't know.
I think what it is that we fall in love with, like, talent. Like, I know people that are like, that will swear about Aaron Rodgers being the GOAT just based off his talent. He's you know,
amazing talent.
Yeah, he's amazing talent, all time talent. But like he's a good poster boy for that, because when the games comes to the line, he always falls short every time, right?
Yep.
So I mean, like, you can only take talent so far. Dan Marino, all time talent,
Super talented.
no bowls. You know, so it's like,
and that's is that on him or is that on team? It's also a team game.
yeah.
How many people are on the roster? 50 or so, right? How many people start? 22.
Right.
You have 11 starters on offense, 11 starters on defense. How many people, like, relatively, how many people in fact how many people impact the game?
Right.
About 100 on each side, right? Between coaches, between players, between front office, like, you have about 100 people making an impact each game.
Right.
And you have, like, they're 100 versus you're 100. Like, the quarterback only controls at most 25%.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the number. I think it's like 17 or 18. I remember reading an article, like, how much each position in, like, controls what percentage. The quarterback, even though, like, outside of a head coach or offense coordinator or defensive coordinator, they're what fourth on the list of, like, biggest impact for the game.
Right.
They're not the whole team. And I really hate this. They're like, oh, Mahomes outplayed Josh Allen.
I hate that
Mahomes
too.
outplayed Lamar Jackson. Like, no, bitch. Like,
I get that too. Yeah.
is this boxing? It's not.
Yeah.
Is this the QB challenge at Pro Bowl? No. It's like, this is literally like two teams going at it.
Yep.
So let's lead off into the big questions. I got into a long argument about what is elite. What makes an elite player, elite quarterback?
In my opinion, it's someone that can elevate everyone around him.
Yeah.
So like I think about, like, we'll go back to Brady real quick. Like he said Brady wasn't always the most talented arm or anything like that, but he elevated, like, his players. He elevated Edelman. He elevated, you know, everyone around him.
Damian Amendola.
Yes.
Gronk.
The role players. He elevated them.
Randy Moss even.
Yeah, exactly. He made Randy Moss the one to have the greatest receiver season of all time. He elevated everyone around him, even on the defensive side, because they loved playing for him. Like, I don't know if you heard that quote that who said that? I think it was Julian Edelman who said, "We worked for Bill, but we played for
Brady."
You know. So, like, I think, in my opinion, it's someone that can elevate his teammates to be better, and that can rise up in the big moments and not shrink under the pressure. And
in the group the sports group we did, or that we're in, I often I posed the question, what is elite? Because it seems like there was a bunch of different definitions being thrown around. And some of it's like, you have to achieve a certain amount to be elite. Or the way I posed it, like, do you have to achieve either MVPs, awards, All Pros, Pro Bowls? Do you have to win a Super Bowl? Or do you have to be top 3 or 4 or 5 in your position to be elite? Or something like in the middle of all that. And I don't know what the right answer is, but I really hate the idea of, like, oh, this person's elite because they accomplished this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, that's so backwards. It's not who's elite now. That's who has a great career. I'm like, okay, is Aaron Rodgers elite? He won 2 MVPs 2 years ago. He's won a Super Bowl. Is Russell Wilson still elite?
Ugh.
He won a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, he's not technically retired. He's elite, right?
Yeah.
He's got an MVP. He almost won a Super Bowl. Like, what level? Like, are these players still elite? No, it's who's elite next season. Who's the best quarterbacks? And I don't know. Like, Mahomes is elite for sure, but I feel like he's not even like the tier of elite. His tier is like greatest of all time conversation. Like, he's a tier above elite. And to me, it's like, okay, we either don't have anyone that's elite tier, or like we have to let the people in who are still pretty young and still trying to essentially develop their career, but they're also going against fucking Mahomes. You can't really put up the hardware when you're dealing with this quarterback.
Right, exactly.
So biggest question is, or not biggest question, but next big question: who's going to be the second best QB in the NFL? Who's going to rise up to be that de facto number 2 and rival Mahomes for number 1?
I personally think it's going to be Joe Burrow.
I think so too. Or I think he's on the list, or he's in the next tier.
Like, I know, I kind of previewing when we were going back with the stoplight. I remember this. We were talking about Josh Allen last year, and I put him at a yellow, right? And you were kind of taken back by that a little bit. I was like, well, what has he done to make him a green? I mean, he's gotten to the playoffs a couple times, but he always comes short. So why should I put him a green? Like, I mean, talent-wise, he's green, but I mean,
what team's going to replace Josh Allen?
Exactly. So like, he's kind of on that fence where it's like, we can't replace you, but you've shown at least 3 years in a row you can't get past.
Did he show that this year?
The
dude balled out.
He did ball out.
He was like the reason why that team was even close.
That's true. That's very true. But at the end of the day, it's W's and L's. You know, that's all that matters. And he did ball out.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. Okay, yeah, but he did ball out. But
only one team could win, and we're dealing with arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
That's true. So I do get that as well. But it's like, where do you go?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, that's the question. It's like, who's going to be number 2?
Like, Joe Burrow's beat him.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know.
Have you? Speaking of the group, have you seen the post about the anti-Burrow posts?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really good. Shout out to Phil. I can't quote for quote his whole argument, but his whole argument was basically his playoff run for Joe Burrow. He wasn't actually that great in the playoffs. His defense was just low key, really, really good.
They were good that year.
And I would make the argument like, yeah, that was like the only time Mahomes sucked, and that was against that defense second half of that game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's the only quarterback whose team beat Mahomes.
But he's also beat Mahomes. What is it, like 4 times in the regular season? 3 or 4 times. It's something like that. Yeah, it's because Mahomes is like 1-3 or something like that against.
And he was arguably one play away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
one Aaron Darnold. Because I'm pretty sure there was a receiver open, and Aaron Donald was like, "Yeah, nope."
Yep.
Legendary moment for Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's going to be the second QB, and this is like where I'm really excited for this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who's going to be. Like, right now, the number one answer is probably Lamar Jackson. But I'm like, yeah, he won an MVP, but I don't even know if he deserved this MVP. I don't really know if anyone.
Look at his numbers; they're not
great.
Not great.
He was the best team, QB on the best team. Like, literally, he kind of won by default. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, if Dak Prescott has better numbers, Purdy nearly has better numbers. Mm-hmm. I would have given Christian McCaffrey personally.
I like that. Yeah. I was thinking Tyreek Hill. If he would have got to that 2000, I would have gave it to Tyreek Hill. He would have my vote personally. So
this is like where, like, who's the next great QB? I mean, I have a list for you, and I think it's a long list. Who's going to be number 2? Mm-hmm. I think Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Those are the next 2.
Okay,
that's our next 3. That's like the next. That's the next tier.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say this is elite tier.
Oh.
For this group of QBs, I think they're elite.
That's fair.
Mahomes goat. Like, he's his own tier. If you want to argue with me that like those 3 aren't elites, fine. But like, they're all in the same. Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs, but like, that's a popularity contest. Best QB, best team. Mm-hmm. He has a really good team. Josh Allen, if you watch him play, he often carries his teams. He also throws them out of
kills
games.
his team.
But he also, like, you injure Josh Allen, this isn't a playoff team.
That's fair.
They're just not.
Do you put Jalen Hurts in there?
Huh?
Do you put Jalen Hurts in there?
Jalen Hurts is like the tier below.
Okay.
I have Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, all in like that next tier.
Okay.
They might be the next number 2 QB. They have a lot of work to do. Honestly, Justin Herbert might do it just simply because of Jim Harbaugh.
I'm very curious about that. I'm very see how that goes.
And then I have like the 3 rookies between Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. Like, who knows? I feel like NFC teams probably have the best like chance because it's just a dogfight in the AFC now.
Yeah.
But we'll see who's going to be that number 2. I don't know if anyone's going to be consistent enough. I feel like every quarterback has their flaws.
I feel that's fair.
All right. Should we do QB stoplight right away, or should we do Caleb Williams, Justin Fields talk? Let's do that talk real quick.
Okay.
And then we'll do our stoplight.
Okay. I'm cool.
Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, Chicago Bears. What should they do?
This is it's super interesting to me. This is a very unique position.
It is. I honestly think there's only one take here. I think there's only one correct take that you can do. Not necessarily for fans, but I mean, there's like as a GM, I think there's only one thing you really
gotta
should
trade
do
him.
here.
Gotta trade him.
Trade who?
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I say you gotta trade him.
Can I go off?
Yeah, go off.
All right. Because I fucking hate when people talk. There's so many armchair GMs that be like, oh, they need to trade the number 1 pick, get more ammo, get Justin Fields going. And I'm like, hold up. Justin Fields, last 3 years, what's his record?
Not good.
It's trash. It's terrible. Is it his fault? No. It is not his fault. But is he a franchise QB right now? After 3 years, is he a franchise QB? The best we get is a maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
He might be a franchise QB. Or he might just flame out. We don't know. In 2 years, you have to pay this man.
Yep.
Or get rid of him.
Yep.
And that's not a bad position to be in. You have a guy who's shown a lot of flashes, who at least is going to sell you tickets, but you don't know if he's going to win you anything. And normally this would be fine. If the Bears did not have the number 1 overall pick, them keeping Justin Fields, not a bad move. But they have the number 1 pick. They can pick the best quarterback. And not just they can pick the best quarterback. They're in arguably one of the best quarterback classes.
Yeah,
in a while.
That's true.
In a while.
I want to add to that.
Yeah.
Just to play devil's advocate, I think I'm why they're so hesitant on doing it. I think Bryce Young has made people nervous about quarterbacks. Because, like, look at what happened to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
Yep.
So you take that chance. I still believe they should trade it, but I'm just saying, like, you take that chance and you flop, you're set back probably 5 years.
You are.
So you
are. But here's the thing: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Where would they, if they were a part of this class too? Where would they be drafted? Let's say like those 3 are in this draft. First 6 picks are all going to be quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud, not knowing that what we know, or Bryce Young, where would they be drafted?
Probably similar, not same.
They'd probably be drafted 3 or 4.
You talking about like? Are you saying like
for this year?
For this order? Like now, like
for prospects.
For
like let's say Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. They were in this draft along with Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. It'd probably be 3 or 4, maybe
3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're right. There is a 20% chance. It's like a 20% hit rate for first round QBs. It's not great. Really isn't. And to be hesitant is understandable. But here's the thing. Caleb Williams, say what you want about the guy. As a prospect, just simply looking at tape, he's arguably the greatest prospect we've ever seen. Yeah. He's better than Trevor Lawrence ever was. He's on par with Andrew Luck.
That's true. You
have GM saying they'd be taking him over Peyton Manning and Dan Marino. So the Bears, not only do you have the first pick in the draft, not only you have the first pick in one of the greatest quarterback classes in a long while, you arguably have the greatest prospect ever at the quarterback position on a team that's never had a great QB. Their best QB in the history of Bears Nation is Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler? Not Jim McMahon?
Or Jim McMahon. It's between the two.
Yeah, that's fair. You don't like Rex Grossman?
I don't think Bears
went to a Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl.
Yes, so did Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson and Joe Flacco.
That's true.
Not to hate on Joe Flacco. So, yeah, I just don't... The way I see it is, what teams win the Super Bowl outside of Mahomes? What teams have been winning the Super Bowl? It's teams that don't pay the quarterback often. The best teams that have the most success is the ones that don't overpay their QBs. And you're going to have to pay Justin Fields in 2 years or let him go. And it's it's a giant question mark at the quarterback position. You've had 3 years. It's a giant question mark. You have the top pick, the best draft, best QB draft with arguably the best QB prospect of all time. To me, it's a no-brainer. Reset the clock, get the best pick, and maybe they do flame out. But what if Justin Fields flames out?
That's true.
Then you're going to pay him $40? You want to be Daniel Jones and the Giants? Because that's the comparison. That's what you're doing.
Just had to bring my Giants up.
Yeah, they're going to be mentioned.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyone who's just you got to trade the number one pick, get more assets, keep Justin Fields. I'm like, no. This whole year, I wanted the Vikings to tank because I'm like, this is a transitioning year. We're not going to do great. Might as well tank. Best QB draft. Get a young QB. Reset. Redo it. Now the Vikings are in a weird fucking spot where they don't know what to do.
I know what they should do, but
draft a QB and not draft or pay Cousins much money.
Exactly. But what they're going to have to do to get that pick is not going to make a lot of people happy.
They're going to trade a lot. They should have just fucking tanked.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have traded to Neil Hunter.
He was a fan favorite, though.
They should have traded Cousins when I told them to trade Cousins.
Fan favorite.
Anyway, let's get to the QB stoplight since we've been going way too long into this.
You want to talk about the Vikings real quick?
I think we just did.
That's fair. Okay.
I don't know. They're in such a shit position that if they can get Cousins for cheap, do it. Will they? No.
No. Do you trade Justin Jefferson?
No. I think they're going to pay a lot of money to keep Cousins.
You think so?
They're going to pay him $45 million and we're going to regret it.
2 years, 45?
It's not going to be great. We're going to reload for something we cannot achieve at this state. I hope we get Jaden Daniels.
He's not going to make it to us.
Huh?
He's not going to make it to us.
I know. We're looking at J.J. McCarthy. We're looking at Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. They're fine. I wouldn't. I like the other three a lot.
I do too. I really like Drake May. I think Drake.
You really like Drake? Caleb Williams is so great.
He is
personality wise.
But this last year with his personality has just killed it for me. The talent. Of course, it's a generational talent. I get all that, but
I just throw on his tape as his worst games, and the dude he'll make some mistakes, but then he'll just chuck it for 50 yards and throw a fucking dart to somebody like he's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
he'll run around, throw some stupid play, and it'll work.
Yeah,
he also plays hard.
He does. I get all that.
He will throw a fucking block for you, his running back. And when I see that, when I watch him and he's throwing blocks, he's diving and shit. I'm like, you know what? I can work with this guy. He has so many good talent.
Yeah, but that brings us to a whole nother aspect. He's already said he does not want to go to Chicago. So, like, do you take that? It's kind of like the Eli.
Yeah, you take it.
It's the Eli Philip Rivers thing all over again. Like, do you take that chance and draft him? And he's like, you know.
Well, then you trade him to Washington or New England, and you get the other quarterback. There. I don't know. I think you have to take him. And even if you don't take Philby, Drake May is better. I would take Drake May over Justin Fields. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is like around the Justin Fields like prospect anyway. Then you start questioning him. But Drake May, Caleb Williams, way better.
That's fair.
I hope the Vikings get one of those free QBs. They won't.
A lot.
All right. Stoplight. How do you want to do stoplight, by the way?
Divisional, like we did last time? Or?
We can do division, or we can do just randomize.
Let's do division. I can keep it.
All right, give me a division.
Let's start with the lovely NFC East.
NFC East. All right. Dallas.
You're at it. Yellow or red? I'll go yellow because Dak is still like a top 10 quarterback, but you guys start thinking about the next move.
I did green for this one. You brought back Mike McCarthy. You ain't fucking changing. Just green it. You've already sealed your fate.
I've seen enough though out of him, man. I've seen enough. I said this last year. I've seen enough of Dak.
Who are you going to replace him with though? That's the big question.
That's why he's a yellow. I wouldn't. I don't know.
Who would you replace him? I mean, if like the Bills are like Josh Allen for Dak Prescott in a first round pick, you fucking take it in a heartbeat. But like, that's not going to happen.
I agree with you in that sense. Like, it's probably green just because of the situation. Unfortunately,
it's a green. Do I think they should consider it in their options? Yeah, but like realistically, it's a green. I've had to change a lot of these to like what they should do, or like realistically what they're going to have to do. As soon as Mike McCarthy is like the coach, Dak is your quarterback. You don't change it. Philadelphia,
green.
Yeah, to me it's a green. Like, they crashed and burned, but they made the Super Bowl the year before that. Like,
those teams never do well.
Yeah,
next year. I'm surprised they did as well as they did, to be honest.
You got to just go green. You don't question it. Like, he's a top 10 quarterback. Like, even if you don't think he's not a top 10 QB, you don't roll off of him. All right, your Giants.
Red.
Can they red though?
That's just emotional for me. It's a red, but it has to be a green because you paid the man. It's a situational thing.
I did yellow for the fact that, like, yeah, you should probably change.
Well, you
can't change. You hope and pray that something comes up.
And you hope he just gets healthy and better. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
Get him a receiver though. He does need a true number one. But other than no,
they need everything.
Yeah.
Even tight end.
Yep. Yeah, everything.
People are like, oh, they got Darren Waller. I'm like, Darren Waller hasn't been a really good weapon for like 3 years.
Yep, fair.
He's been a decent weapon here or there.
He was supposed to be the next coming.
He was old when he broke out, and then he was old and injured when he broke out.
Yeah, that's true. He was.
I had him in fantasy for 3 years.
It's personal to you.
Washington.
Well, they're out of yellow because they're in a good position to get a quarterback in the draft. So, but who they got? Sam Howell right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put red.
Yeah.
Red for the position they're in. Red the fact that they got a new coach. Sam Howell, I think, did enough for if somebody's like, let's give it another go. I would put yellow for that reason. However, I'm not gonna pretend that they're not in a position to get a QB. And I think it's just a red. They need a switch.
I know.
They need a change. You have new owner, new coach. Sam Howell was never supposed to be a franchise anything. Justin Fields was. Like, this is an easy, like, hey, Sam, you did great for us this year.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we're getting something better.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Terry McLaurin. He deserves. That man has been nothing but a class act. Going through everything that man's gone through in Washington, he deserves it.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for anything Washington related.
It's true, but I really hope for him because he's one of my favorites here. I hope he gets a chance to really get someone under center that's consistent and he can really just break out.
I'm going to compare last year. And it was almost the same. I did red for... Wait, no. Yeah, literally the same.
Yeah.
Yellow, you probably shouldn't pay Daniel Jones. Red, yeah, you probably shouldn't go with Sam Howell as your quarterback. Sam Howell surprised me, though. I will say,
he did all right.
Looking back, I'm like, that should have been yellow. Like, Sam Howell was not that bad.
He did good for what he was supposed to be. Just that bridge quarterback, you know.
He led the league in yards for most of the season. For a good, first, 10, 11 weeks.
I was writing him in fantasy for a while.
He was good.
Yeah,
and then he wasn't good. He got benched for Jacoby Brissett at one point.
Yeah, he got figured out really quickly.
If you get benched for Jacoby Brissett, it's a red. All right. Name another division.
AFC North.
AFC North. Baltimore.
Green.
Yeah,
got the MVP.
Cincinnati.
Green.
Same.
It's a pretty easy division.
Those two are just greens. Cleveland Browns.
Just keep him out of the masseuses. Keep him away from those people. He's all good to go.
Is he good to go? He's been kind of trash the last 2 years when he has played.
That is true.
Not trash, but he's not great.
No, that's true.
He's good. I put this as yellow. I put this as a pessimistic yellow. As in, yeah, you're probably not doing anything. Maybe you have Joe Flacco be your backup next year. Maybe you sign him to that. But he isn't going to be your starter. He never should be your starter. Deshaun Watson, yeah, you're probably regretting it at this point. But money-wise, you ain't moving off of him.
Can't do
no one's trading for him.
Nope.
And, yeah, you made your own bed. You dug your own grave. You're laying in it. So I put yellow for them to just be look.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're probably rolling with Deshaun Watson. And you hope that he becomes the star that he was. Yeah. So the whole NFL has to be yeah, Deshaun Watson, yeah, football star. Yay. Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm going at a red. I've seen enough of Kenny Pickett. I don't think
I was debating on red for this team.
I've seen enough.
I put yellow because I think if you don't sign anyone else, I think you can still sell Pickett or Mason Rudolph.
To who?
To who? The fans.
This.
I mean, they made the playoffs. Kenny Pickett still has some room to grow.
That's fair, I guess.
I don't love it. I think they should change. I think they need to bring somebody else in. That's not Mason Rudolph.
I feel like the reason I put it red, I feel like they won in spite of them instead of you know, and that's why I think.
I mean, also in spite of Matt Canada as well.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if Arthur Smith's going to be much better.
Yeah,
if you have a fantasy person on that team,
yep.
They're not going to be used.
Yep. He's not going to use the
They'll
stars.
be a great decoy.
Yep.
Arthur Smith.
We
have this great talent. We have this great talent. We're going to use him as a decoy. Yay!
Makes sense. I know.
All right, you have red for Pittsburgh. I have yellow. I think they should make a change. I just don't think they will. All right, pick another division.
Let's go NFC North.
NFC North, Chicago Bears.
Depends on what they do. They're situational. I think they're at a yellow. I think they trade Justin Fields though, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
I think you got to do it.
I think, in respects to Justin Fields, it's a yellow. They don't need to trade him. They don't need to make a change. They really should in the position that they have, but they don't need to. And it is a good position for them to be in because they can also trade Justin Fields to Pittsburgh, who I think. Actually, no, it's Arthur Smith. He wouldn't be good there.
He'd be a decoy.
He would be a decoy. Why run Justin Fields when we can just make him as a decoy? They'll never see it coming. And then our third tight end will get all the touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I had yellow. Detroit.
I think a very. I'll take it from your word. They're a very pessimistic green. I think you got the very top best out of Jared Goff.
I'm going to say neutral green.
Okay.
I think you just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm. You just don't think about it.
You just don't think about it. Like, Jared Goff is your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You just run with it. They went to the conference championship. This team's hot. This team arguably is probably the best team moving forward into the NFC to win the championship. Mm-hmm. Even more so than the Niners, I would say. They still have that moving forward momentum. You don't ruin it.
That's
fair. Green.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't think about it.
It's a very pessimistic green from me. I just think they got the very, very best out of Jared Goff. I don't know if he gets back to that kind of level or to that.
I think he's a solid QB. He reminds me of like Kirk Cousins, whereas like if you have to rely on him, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. But if you can just put a really good team around him, like you're gonna have success. He made it to the Super Bowl once. He made it to a conference championship. He's a top 10 QB, at least like talent wise. That's his ceiling. But like, honestly, if you have a good team around him, you can't really ask for much more.
True, that's true.
Green Bay Packers,
screaming green. I'm a big Jordan Love fan, and that hurts to say that, but green. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, this was a yellow for the longest time. This was a red to begin the season. Then it was a yellow. Now it's like. Yeah, don't think about it. Yep. Like, you made it to the playoffs. You won a game. You beat the Packers. He's been looking really good these last couple of months.
He's looked the part. He really has.
You just go with it. All right, Vikings.
You were out of yellow here. Streaming yellow.
Yeah, it's a screaming yellow.
I'm scared that you're right and they're going to pay Kirk Cousins. And I'm a Cousins fan, but they're going to give that man $45 a year. And I'm just
I like Cousins. He's a top 10 QB. And arguably, I think you can make the case he's a top 5. He was a top 5.
You can. Can he get over the hump, though? When healthy.
I think he's
coming off major injuries now.
Yeah, that's the big part now. Now, at the beginning of the year, he was a top 8. I think he was number 9 for me for QBs.
I think he was number 8 or 9.
I think now this is a different list. I think right now I put him mid, but that's simply because he's coming off injury. I don't know where I can trust him.
Yeah,
he's also getting older. He's now coming off an injury.
36 now.
36, yeah, 35, 36. Like he's at the point of like this is his last contract. He's going to be retiring after this. If I'm I am the Vikings, but not the Vikings. Like, I move off.
I agree.
I change.
I agree.
Not because I want to, but it's just the time to do it. You had a new coach. You've tried to make this work. You don't have the roster. It was always awkward to begin with. This team is massively outperformed, which is a good sign for a coach. They need to move off them, get someone young, start over, restart this clock. Have someone grow up with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, even though he's like mid.
Yeah, he's
like at his peak.
Older 20s now.
So that's I wish this was red. It's yellow because if Kirk's like, I'll come back for $25 million. Yeah, you take that. Even if he goes for 35, you debate it.
Yeah.
I think they need to move on regardless. But if they can get him for like 25, 30 for the first year with the incentives being like after that.
Do you think like the Baker Mayfield deal, like the 3 years, 82?
No.
No? Okay.
I think you need a successor. That's their biggest failure is that they don't have a successor.
That's true.
I want to compare the other before we move on. AFC North last year was about the same. Cleveland was just a green. Baltimore was a yellow, but that's coming off of Lamar Jackson's whole injury situation. Yeah. NFC North, basically the same, except like there was inverted colors. Chicago, Detroit, and Green Bay were all yellows for me, and Minnesota was the green.
Yeah.
But now it kind of changed.
Yeah.
Whereas Chicago arguably would be a green if they didn't have number 1 pick. Chicago, Detroit are green. Minnesota now is a yellow. Yeah. All right, AFC division. Give me one.
Oh, let's go to South. AFC South.
AFC South. Yeah, this is like the one that major difference.
Yep.
All right. Houston.
Screaming A.
Screaming green. Yep. Yeah. Colts.
They're green, but Anthony Richardson's already making me nervous.
Yep.
They're making me nervous a little bit, but
I think they're hesitant green.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're looking into the season. You're like, well, he looked really good.
He did.
He looked really good. Shane Steichen looks really good. This pair should be great. Can he stay healthy though?
Yeah.
Like can we get Minshew back? Like for $5 million, $10 million maybe.
Yeah.
Or can we get a different quarterback back? Maybe Ryan Tannehill. Like somebody just like so like we can still at least be competitive.
Right.
Jacksonville.
Hey, I'm still a big fan of Lawrence, even though he kind of dropped a little bit this year. But
Yeah. You're green.
yeah, you're not moving off him though.
You don't fuck around with it. You're green. Tennessee.
It's a tricky one. Definitely got a yellow. I'm going yellow.
Yeah, it's not a green.
Yeah.
I would say this is a pessimistic yellow.
Yeah, they're not in a great spot. They're in a very...
No, because like you have like Ryan Tannehill's a free agent. You're moving off of him.
Yeah, and you got two young quarterbacks that you don't know what to do with.
Malik Willis doesn't look like the part, but like you're gonna keep him on the roster anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Will Levis got nice arms.
He had that one game that everyone was like, "Oh, he's the truth. He's the truth."
It's the truth. You know what's really bad? I tried getting him so badly in like the Superflex Dynasty League I was in.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy would not trade off of him because he's like, he looks great. I'm like, so did Daniel Jones' first game. Like,
Yeah.
It's like I want a first round pick for him. I'm like, no. So, like, I'll give you maybe a second.
Mm-hmm.
I was so desperate for receiver or QB2s in my Superflex Dynasty League.
Mm-hmm.
Trade Tua for JJ.
Ooh. Mm.
Don't regret it, but I don't have a QB2.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell's my QB2.
He got hurt. Did I kill you?
Huh?
Him getting hurt. Did I kill you?
JJ?
Yeah.
No. I traded him after he got hurt.
Oh, okay.
The guy who won the championship though won it with Tua.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Yeah, Tennessee. I don't know what they do. Like you kind of have to go with Will Levis, but I feel like if you have an opportunity to do better, like if the Bears like, hey, we'll give you Justin Fields for a third rounder, I think you take it.
Why not? Yeah. But then you got 3 young quarterbacks on your team.
Yeah, I mean you could trade Malik Willis or Will Levis for
Like 6th round, day 2 picks, I guess. Yeah.
I think yeah. All right, give me another division we haven't done. We've done NFC East and North, AFC North and South.
Let's do NFC West.
NFC West, Arizona Cardinals.
You're at an optimistic yellow. Because you can go, you get a healthy Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murphy.
Maybe go get Marvin Harrison Jr. so they can kind of grow up together and see where that goes.
I think this is just a green.
Think so?
I think so. I think the fact that they're 4th overall pick now, because they were like 1st, 2nd, 3rd. At that point, you're like, you kind of think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're just green.
Okay.
You have your franchise guy. He is top 5 talent.
Talent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Top 5 talent, and honestly, he has the ability to put it together.
He does. I agree.
Do we have the coaching staff?
Mm-hmm.
You're in a prime position to get, if not the best receiver, the second best receiver. And arguably, this is one of the greatest like receiving prospects in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think at least since Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And then, JJ. But even though I wouldn't say
JJ wasn't highly touted coming out,
no.
though.
I think you have, I think this is just a green. You take Marvin Harrison Jr., you take Malik Neighbors, you take somebody, help this team out.
Yep, I agree.
Los Angeles Rams.
It's a tricky one. I'm going yellow just because Stafford's getting older.
Yep.
And where do you go? Because they kind of remind me of the Vikings of old, where they're just good enough to be okay, and they get like that middle round pick where you never get that like top 5, top 10 kind of pick, But like where do you go with them? Like they're kind of in a very tough spot.
They remind me of the Warriors almost.
Okay, I can see that.
Except like they have the Warriors 3. They have Donald. They have Cup. They have Stafford. And the rest after that is just young kids. And they made the playoffs with mostly their young roster.
Do you believe in Puka as being a kind of one-ish, kind of 1A kind of receiver? Do you believe in him after this year, or does it think it's kind of more of a?
I think he'll fall off a bit, but I think like he's receiver 1, receiver 2.
Okay.
I think he's a good to great talent. I think he'll be at least a receiver 2 for the rest of his career, at least fantasy wise. Rams wise though, I think this is a team that like you need to think about your successor. Like Stafford, definitely. He's getting hurt. He's getting often injured. If they can keep Carson Wentz on that team.
You a Carson Wentz fan?
This guy was a top 5 quarterback, and he's still relatively young.
Let's say 28, 29, I know.
He's in his prime.
Okay.
Like, he still has that ceiling.
Yeah.
And if I was like, if you bring in Carson Wentz, like, he isn't the greatest leader. But other like the Niners or even the Rams, somebody with a high coach, a lot of good talent around them, you bring him in.
You think about Geno Smith kind of thing?
Yeah, Geno Smith, or just look at, I don't know, like, he has the talent.
He does.
He Supermaned his team into playoffs at one point. He also Supermaned his way out of the league too. Like, his decision making is myth. But like, I don't know. Looking in like any team that's looking for like a QB, like I wouldn't sleep on him.
Okay.
He is like that low key like Vikings. If you can bring him in as a backup, along with like whatever rookie, or let's say if you don't get him, you bring Darnold and Carson Wentz, and they have to play it out. Carson Wentz can low key work his way back into the league and be a star.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying the potential's there.
He does still. He still has the arm. He still does have the arm for sure.
But yeah, yellow for me. They need to think about their successor.
Right.
Stafford's getting old.
I'm getting yellow too.
If he was guaranteed healthy next year, green. Easy green.
Hey.
He's not arguably a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, he played like it
if healthy.
Yeah, that's never
the case.
The case with Stafford. Though.
All right, Seattle Seahawks. They just paid Geno Smith $12 million guaranteed.
I'm putting him at a yellow because I don't know if it's a personal thing. I've just never been a big Geno Smith fan. Like it's just a solid quarterback, but like I don't think he's gonna get him over the hump. You need that kind of trend.
Yeah,
you need that next kind of guy coming
he's
under
like
him.
Baker.
Yeah, you need someone coming under him.
He's fine. He's a good bridge quarterback for a couple of years.
Exactly, that's what he is to me.
He's not as good as Goff though.
I agree.
Like with the right team, maybe he wins a championship. Maybe, but you need a great team. He's not going to carry you there.
Yeah, you need a great team. Yeah.
So, yeah, this is one of those, like, yeah, you're good for now. But, like, if you have the opportunity, or go get Carson Wentz or somebody with, like, that ceiling.
I think it's going to be one of those. I think they need to just kind of just reset it all. I think with the whole Pete Carroll move, and they should just kind of gut it all personally. Take this year off and just... Yeah.
So many teams are so hesitant to like do the reset year, and you have like all these awkward franchises that like should have reset beforehand, and it's just like this weird like awkward rebuild. Like, hey, we have a lot of old people, we have this old coach, but like we have all these young kids coming into our quarterback's okay. Yeah, those Seahawks, they're like, hey, we retooled, we're good, but like, yeah, but you're not winning a championship. Yeah. Like, what are you doing here?
That's how I feel about the Steelers. Like, why? But yeah,
that's how I feel about the Vikings. Like, we're
Vikings,
retools. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to win a championship? Like, you have to take a couple steps back before you can take steps forward.
I agree. Yeah.
Unless like you have enough on you to make a championship run, and a lot of these teams don't have that. Last one, Niners.
I'll give it an A. I like Purdy. I like Purdy. He's all right. I'll give it an A. But
an A.
Hey, I'm in green. I'm sorry. I'm teacher in me. It's a teacher in me. I'm giving it a green light. They'll be all right.
I think he's just green. You don't think about it. He's on a rookie deal, MVP consideration. You can say he's not like a top 10 quarterback, top 5. Like, you don't need him to be.
But yeah, I think why I'm so hesitant on him is because you're gonna have to give him that. You're gonna give him that money in the next year.
He's third year.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this guy reminds me of Tom Brady first dynasty. Not that talented. but can manage the game really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
He can still develop. Mm-hmm. You weren't worried about signing Brady to extension. You were just happy he's winning you championships.
That's fair.
And then he developed into this star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Purdy, like, he's on the right track.
He is.
He's doing literally everything you need him to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about it. It's just green.
Yeah. But he makes me nervous, though. But I'll give him a green for that.
All right. AFC East or AFC West?
Let's do the AFC West.
Denver.
Denver's a screaming red. I don't know what they got going on over there.
It should be a yellow. It should be a yellow. But they made it into a red.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know what Denver was doing.
I don't either.
They're just like, yeah, we're going to get rid of you. We're going to, we're going to bench you because you're not taking a pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, okay. I guess, like, I don't know who you're going to replace him with.
All right.
And you have to pay his cap hit still.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to find someone to trade him or cut him. Like, good luck.
Yeah, you're just going to,
I don't know
what they're doing over there.
But it's a red situation that should have just been a yellow. Russell, he's fine. He maybe not Sean Payton's guy. I just don't know what they're going to replace him with. Probably rookie QB. Maybe they do fine.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, like, you're going to, I don't know what they got going on over there. I mean, they're not in a good spot to draft, so I don't know.
No, they're not.
I just don't know.
I don't know. This is like one of those, if you bring in a QB, you can't pay him either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have the money to pay for a huge, you can't pay Baker, you can't pay Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to draft somebody.
All right.
Now the reports are they're going to try to get him back for a cheaper contract. It's like, yeah, that bridge has been burned.
Yeah.
It's a red.
You publicly burned it.
Russ also publicly burned it.
Yeah.
Actually, Russ is like, I'll come back. They want me back. He made that statement, but I think he wanted nothing to do with the Broncos, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah,
anyway, his ride. That's not great. Bronco country. Let's ride.
My God.
To the ditch. And I'm out. Kansas City. This is a red, right?
Yep. Screaming red.
This is like the biggest brainer. Like, maybe this should be yellow. Like, no, shut the fuck up. It's green.
Yeah, it scares me. This is Mahomes' league for another he still got another 10 elite years, man. Like, what do you do with
left.
that?
And his team wasn't that good.
Yeah,
his offense wasn't that good.
Like, he's one of the few quarterbacks I'm not scared of a retooling year. Like, he's really like that.
He's been retooling.
Yeah,
they still don't have a receiver.
Yeah, receiver. He looks good though. I like him.
Yeah,
he looks nice. I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah,
I have Sky Moore in Dynasty, so I'm like, I hope he becomes great.
He's good too. He has moments. He's a burner.
Stoney doesn't play a single playoff game. Everyone's like, good.
Oh
good
my
God, he makes the team.
That poor man. Giants are right about him at least. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he if only he could catch the ball.
Yeah, that man.
Chargers. There's some asshole that would be like, they're a yellow or a red. It's like, God, shut up. They're green.
They're green. I think Harbaugh will get the pass. I'm very excited to see that duo over the next 2 or 3 years.
Like, if you're doing a redraft, Herbert's probably top 5. If not, easily top 10, probably top 5.
Oh, easily, for sure.
Like, you want him in a redraft. All right. AFC East or NFC South?
Let's do the South, NFC South.
Atlanta Falcons.
They're yellow, but they're in a good situation.
They're a yellow?
Well, I mean, only because they're probably going to get Justin Fields. I think that's where Justin Fields ends up, personally.
Well, then, yeah, it'd be a red then. Because it's a change.
Okay, that's fair, yeah. Right. Okay, my bad. You're right.
All right. I feel like I have to, I should have explained the stoplight situation. I failed in that. What is an NFL stoplight? Green means go. You don't think about it. Red.
Fair, yeah.
Red,
okay.
you stop. You're making a change.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow, you think about it. Lots.
Right.
Most teams will be yellow.
Yeah, right.
Atlanta's a red.
Yeah, they're red. You're right. 100%.
Desmond Ridder, he's not the answer.
Nope.
Like, if you come back with Desmond Ridder, you failed as a GM.
Yep.
Yeah, you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this team's got too much talent for Desmond Ridder.
Mm-hmm.
Too much talent for a Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this as somebody who has him on my dynasty team. So I have a lot of QBs that aren't starting.
Right.
You need a team. You need a new QB. You need Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Well,
you need Justin Fields.
yeah, I think that's where Justin Fields.
You need or Russell Wilson. Sam Howell even would be better.
Mm-hmm.
You need somebody that can do the talent. Like what you have isn't enough.
Right.
Carolina Panthers.
They're tough, man. I say they're out of yellow only because, I mean, it's almost you got to put them in a green just because of the situation. He's the number one pick. You got to rock with him. But
I was going to say, are you like banking on red? I'm like, it's too soon for red.
Yeah, it's too soon for red. But, I mean, like, I say in green just because that's your number one pick. You got to rock with him.
I have them as yellow. I think, like, you think about, like, if you have any offers.
Who's going to offer you anything?
I don't know. Yeah, I this is probably when I should probably make it green. Just don't think about it. Pessimistic green, like
everything's fine.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's.
Everything's fine.
What did we do here? New Orleans Saints.
Well, you gave the man his money. I'm still a Derek Carr fan, personally, but I'm gonna go yellow. You got to think about it.
This is yellow for one reason only. They fucking brought back Dennis Allen when they really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the coach that's going to get you anywhere. This is a coach that's going to get you an 8-1 record, 8-9 record, or something like that. Maybe he makes the playoffs.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. You might win the South, maybe. And like, congratulations, you won a shit division.
Yeah. Here's your first round exit. Oh, maybe best case scenario, second round exit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a yellow simply because like you brought Dennis Allen back. Therefore, you already paid Derek Carr. You might as well just bring him back. Might as well try to see if this thing can develop, because this is kind of the bet you made.
Yeah.
You look at your potential successor. You look at somebody. You look at the free agents, but really, you're moving forward with Derek Carr.
Yeah, you're not going to go very far.
But yeah, you're looking at every other option at the standpoint. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They are tricky.
They can't tell. I don't think they could be a green.
Oof. I agree with that, actually, yeah.
Because I don't think they have like the straight up cap flexibility to just be like, pay the man. You have to like. It's a green if Baker's like, I'll do $25 million. But really, it's a yellow.
Yeah, I think it's a yellow. But I mean, with Baker, the thing is, like, did you get the best out of him? Is that the best? I mean,
probably.
Yeah. So
the ceiling is not high.
Like, he's good for the situation he's in. Like, he can go get you the South. You know, he can go get you the South if that's what you're playing.
This team's also not in a good position to get a better quarterback.
Exactly.
And like, really, maybe you pick another second QB later in the draft. Maybe you pick up Kirk Cousins. But really, like, yeah, I would just ride with Baker. He fits the Buccaneer attitude.
He does. He looks right in that uniform. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, he just looks right.
He fits well.
He does. He fits in that.
Him and his like bandana and like the red. I'm like, yeah, this just feels like Baker. Raiders would also kind of feel like Baker, but I feel like the Buccaneers fits just a little bit more.
I feel like the Raiders. I feel like he get ran out of Las Vegas. I don't know, like, because they have high expectations for no reason, but they do.
Shit, we didn't finish the AFC West. We didn't do Raiders.
Oh yeah, that's right. What they got going? Aiden O'Connell over there?
Yep.
Oh,
Jimmy G's reported just got suspended for steroid usage. Is also planning on being released. Yeah, Aiden O'Connell.
That's your guy. I wouldn't go yellow. He deserves a. I think Antonio Pierce might. I don't know. He might get the best out of it. They're yellow.
I was thinking yellow, but I'm like, you have to do red. You have to bring in another QB.
Well, I mean, I don't just really high expectations for them. This next coming year, they're gonna see what they got in Antonio Pierce. They're gonna just kind of. I think next year is an evaluation year for them. We'll see what you got. I give him a yellow. I won't say red yet.
I want Aiden O'Connell to start. I'm just like, I don't think that's what you got to. There's other reports that are looking for a QB. I think you have to. You have Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Sean Payton. like that's your three people. Mm-hmm. Like if you have any shot, you need to get QB.
I agree.
You need to get Russell Wilson. You need to get Justin Fields. You need to get somebody.
But that's why I also am making the point that like I said, their expectations are not real. You're not gonna go beat Mahomes this next year. You're not gonna go. I'm not gonna compete. Well, you may compete with the Chargers or something like that, but I don't think the expectations for them are very high. So you could just do an evaluation year, see what you got. I mean, you should. You know, I don't think you're in an emergency for a quarterback. You do need to go get a quarterback at some point, but I don't think you're in a rush this year. Let's take a year, see what we got, see what the market is, the next draft. Who knows? But I
mean, I see where you're coming from, and normally that's the stance I would take for most teams. But I think this team like needs a QB.
You know,
Aiden O'Connell isn't gonna do it. Okay. He just isn't. He's like Desmond Ridder of last year.
Okay.
Like I don't have much confidence.
Okay, that's fair. I
Nothing against him. He did fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't bank on it. All right. So we finished AFC West, NFC South. AFC East is next.
AFC least. All right.
Buffalo Bills.
Green, but
you're gonna own the L.
You got to. Where do you go?
It's a green.
Yeah, it's a green, but only because of where do you go from there?
He's my number 2 quarterback in the league.
Over Burrow?
Burrow's hurt. Second time now.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I have him in the same category. I had Burrow second last year.
So let's just put a fancy land. A healthy Burrow and a healthy Allen. Still going Allen?
I think I'm going Allen, actually, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Every time I watch him play, he just he plays himself out of games, but then he'll play himself back into the game. Mm-hmm. And
okay.
I don't know. For everyone's like, oh, he doesn't come up at the end. I'm like, but he does. He's come up so many times against Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Just Mahomes just does it back. It's not a like, I don't look at him and Mahomes and be like, oh, Mahomes is clearly better. I'm like, yeah, Mahomes is slightly better, but like, I also look at Josh Allen and was like, he doesn't have an Andy Reid. He doesn't have a Travis Kelce. He has Stephon Diggs, but he's been disappearing the last like how many years?
That's fair. Okay.
And like after Diggs, like who's his best weapon? Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is solid though. He's not a scrub. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, like he's not like you know. But I mean, like,
he's gonna go to the Kansas City Chiefs and be meh.
Oh, I like him on the Chiefs actually. Oof. Okay, but okay, I get that. I just think Joe Burrow is he's just got the it factor. You know what I mean? Like it's something about Burrow. Like I don't know. I trust him to show up when it means the most. Like you're right. Allen does. Yeah. Allen does. But he's just that one person who's just like always this close.
Yeah, he has like the coolness. Like at end of the game, like ooh, I think he has enough moxie, enough. Blanking on the word.
Like us, I'll put it like this: if the game is if the game is 30-27, and Josh Allen or Burrow has to go down the field to beat Mahomes, I'm taking Burrow. I think Josh Allen does something to mess that up. He'll throw a pick, fumble it, do too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just kind of how I am with that.
Miami.
If Tua can stay healthy.
Keep saying A.
I'm sorry. I'm such a teacher. Just I got that school mind so much.
Everything's green light. A.
Yeah, green light on them for sure.
I think it's green. Yeah, like last year was a yellow simply because like health wise, he played one full season. He was relatively good for that whole season. I think I think you have maybe a hesitant green. I think maybe you think if there's an offer on the table, you consider it. Mm-hmm. But really, your whole attitude is, Tua is their quarterback moving forward.
Yep, for sure.
Maybe they should get Cousins instead. I think there's an argument to that. Mm-hmm. But really, it should be green.
Yeah. So he proved otherwise.
Patriots.
Oh, they're out of red.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, we gotta go get someone in the draft. They're in a good spot though.
And last but not least, New York Jets. I I have an answer, but I think their actual answer is green.
Go for it. Go. I want to hear this. Go
Okay. I put yellow as my actual answer because I think they should be one. They need their successor. It's not Zach Wilson. I don't think he's on that roster next year.
No, at least later.
Aaron Rodgers maybe has a year left.
Mm-hmm.
He maybe has 2 years left.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. It's not more than that, though. And we don't even know if he plays this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back.
But he said he was ready in December if he wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming. Aaron Rodgers talked a lot of shit back then.
That's fair.
I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers' word for anything right now. I'm just not. I don't know. Like, I think the situation they're in, it has to be a green. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Robert Sala's coming back, GM's coming back. Aaron Rodgers essentially controls that team, and there's a lot of reports about how it's basically what Roger wants. They get. So yeah, it's a green. It should be a yellow.
Mm-hmm.
They should, like, if there's any opportunity for them to get a successor, any opportunity to even like get a quarterback to replace Rodgers, I take it. Yeah. I would take it.
I agree.
Like if the Broncos were like, hey, we'll trade Aaron Rodgers from you and we'll give you Russell Wilson, but we'll give you like all these picks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking that in a heartbeat.
I do that. Yeah.
Like I'd happily take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen though.
Right.
So it's probably a green. I put yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you like keep your ear open, but yeah, it's a green.
Yeah, you're definitely looking. If I were them, I would try find someone to draft, even if it's like a first round, like late first round kind of pick, and just try to develop somebody under him. Because he did tutor Jordan Love very well, as much as he didn't want to. And so,
yeah,
but yeah,
will he let them?
You kind of had no choice. You're on your last leg here, buddy.
Will the Jets overlord let them? Aaron Rodgers.
Overlord.
Really, it's Woody Johnson who just loves Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's true. Woody Johnson is factually that name for them.
All right, last little bit. I did a QB rankings, and I did it differently. I didn't do because I do like my official QB rankings. Mm-hmm. And in our last episode, we talked about it. This is best QB positions moving forward next year. And then this is if draft doesn't happen or if free agency doesn't happen. Okay. And everybody from last year stays on this year.
Okay.
So this is my top 10. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Then it's Chargers, Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas at 8.
Okay.
Rams at 9. Goff at 10.
Was it 10?
Lions.
Okay.
Jacksonville at 11. San Francisco at 12. Love at 13. 14 is Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
This is best QB position or like room. Really, it's best QBs. This is essentially my top 10. Mm-hmm. Almost. Yeah. So, anything you would argue there?
At Rams.
At 9.
At 9. You trust Stafford that much?
That much? Mm-hmm. If he's healthy, he's top 5.
He's not healthy.
That's the hard part. Yeah, that's why he's at 9 for me. Okay. I don't like Goff or Stafford.
I'd put Goff in there just because I can rely on him more to be there. Yeah. With Stafford, you got to count on him missing at least 4 games for something. 4 or 5 games.
Lawrence, I still like his ceiling. Purdy, like I like for what he does. Mm-hmm. Love, I'm not a super high on Love, but I'm like,
I agree. He's not in the top 10, but I just don't trust Stafford. You could put any one of those in there, and I'd be okay with it. But you gotta give Stafford at least 5 games to miss.
I have Tua Miami at 15. Mm-hmm. And I have Kyler Murray at 16. And I honestly really like Kyler Murray for 16. I like the first 16 teams. I don't mind their situation. Mm-hmm. Outside of Minnesota, because they're not, they're either paying Cousins or they're... I was surprised that I had Prescott at 8.
Prescott, well, I mean...
Some people are like, he's a top 5 quarterback. I'm like, no, he's not.
I'm fine. I'm fine with 8. 8's a good spot for him.
I mean, he arguably was statistically wise the best quarterback last year.
He was probably MVP up until the end of the year.
Yeah. Last place I have the Raiders. Then I have the Falcons. Then it's Tennessee, and then Giants. And honestly, I think I'm gonna put Tennessee above the Giants.
I can't argue it. I mean,
like Daniel Jones is fine. He's solid.
I don't know if he's solid. I don't know.
You just paid him. You just committed to that.
I know.
You're committed to an average starter.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you don't have the money to pay for the people that would make him a great starter.
Nope. Can't get no receivers. Saquon's gonna walk. Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to think. Ooh, one last thing. I'm gonna do the pitch.
Okay.
This is my pitch for you for a channel.
Okay.
And this is something that I wanted to do for a while because there's fantasy. I have something similar too, because everyone's done the fantasy or NFL fantasy. All right, hold up. Actually, fantasy is not part of my pitch. Everyone's done the talk about NFL, talk about what we're doing essentially today. What's the best quarterbacks? So what's the best running backs? What's the best receivers? Right? What does this mean for the league? You know, is Mahomes the greatest ever? You know, so on and so forth. There's so many channels, so many YouTube pages. But there's not many channels that covered this. And that's looking at NFL if it's being written. Not necessarily a scriptwriter. But the pitch that I have for you is an NFL lore channel. As in, what's best for the lore of the NFL? And as if like it's creating the myth, the legend that is the NFL, these teams, these players, and we look at each season as which teams, like story-wise, elevates the league.
Okay.
From a storytelling perspective.
Okay.
And it could be football lore, NFL lore, Don't Involve Me lore, sports lore.
Okay.
And so my question is, for 2025, the Super Bowl, NFL or Super Bowl Licks, such a fun name, in New Orleans. For the sake of the NFL, who would be the best champion? Would be like the first thing I would go across, or
the Chiefs. Mahomes getting that three-peat. That would probably be the best.
They're up there
because that's an unprecedented thing. Like
yes,
we've never seen that before.
I would say Chiefs is definitely on the top part of the list. After that, I'm like, this is where we need to create a successor or create a challenger who can challenge Mahomes. If it's in the NFC, perfect. But AFC, we have all these rivals. Yeah, it's the Bills, it's the Ravens, Chargers, Justin Herbert,
Bengals,
CJ Stroud. Is he going to come up? I think like if we can get him a successor, I think this is the year to do it. Okay. Also, I think this would be a cool channel to talk about and separate what is elite and what is established. And I really like the idea of like these players are established. And what I mean by that is, in a way, Hall of Fame. You could argue that this is just a Hall of Famer. And if established NFL players should be Hall of Famers. Or similar enough. But I like the idea of like who is established in this league. So like quarterbacks, who's established? Right. As in like established in the lore that we'll remember them forever. Right? Mahomes, easily. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, are they established? Maybe Lamar Jackson.
I say Lamar. He's got 2 MVPs now.
2 MVPs he is.
Yeah.
Outside those MVPs though? No, not really. Like if outside of those MVPs,
that's
no.
Fair. But I mean like he's a proven winner.
Yeah.
Okay, well, but I get that, yeah.
Is he a proven winner?
He hasn't had a losing season. When he's on the field, that team is immediately a Super Bowl
John
contender.
Harbaugh has always been a winner though before him.
That's true. I put it in a point where he's on the field, they're an immediate Super Bowl contender.
So, NFL lore. NFL established players.
Okay.
This is the channel idea that I have.
I'm with it. I like that.
So, and it'd be really just cool to like do either TikToks of like, oh, these are players that are established, or this is like what would be best for the lore moving forward with the season. Who would be best? I don't know. I think it's just fun talk. Like if we could script the NFL, how would we script it?
I like that. Okay.
I think it's just a unique perspective, unique talk,
Mm-hmm.
and also you can play with the idea of like doing the NFL scripted type of like skits.
Mm-hmm.
I had this idea of like after the off season, after the free agency and the draft, there's like the NFL like script evaluator, and every team comes in like, hey, we did this and this and this and this.
Talk about us, yeah.
Like, how far did we make it? Are we good? Are we interesting?
I like that. Okay.
And you're like, yeah. Or like, you know, like the person comes up to each division, they're like, okay, so you did this, and this. We're going to have the Jets win because they have Aaron Rodgers is back. Or like last year would be kind of fun to do, especially like at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like especially with like, you know, Bills. Like, what'd you guys do? We have Josh Allen. We're going to be great. Right? Like, that's lazy, but yeah. Dolphins, well, we revamped our team. Tua's healthy.
Yeah,
we have all these weapons. Like, this is our year. We're going to be competitors. Like, it is for most of the year.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So, yeah, like the sales pitch kind of thing.
Yep. Our New England, what'd you guys do? Well, I'm the greatest coach of all time. We got Mac Jones, and we got Robert Kraft made me get an offensive coordinator. You know, we're going to do the same things we did before. We're going to be great.
I'm giving up power. Yeah.
We're like, yeah, Bill, here's the thing. Yeah, okay, Bill. Jets come in like,
We'll call you back, Bill.
we got Aaron Rodgers, guys. We're going to be great. Like, you're going to hear about Jets all year long. No, we're not. Bills, you win the division. What? You're going to suck all year long. You're going to get it the last second. Dolphins, don't worry. You'll still make the playoffs. Woo. I wouldn't be that happy, though.
I like it. Yeah.
So that'd be my... All right. We gotta let it go. Ernie, thank you for this NFL... Our annual NFL Stoplight.
Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you. All right, guys, we're heading out. Please check us out on Don't Involve Me on all the social medias. I don't really do Twitter, but we do Threads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok now.
Look at you.
Check us out.
Look at you.
So, all right, we're going to head out. Thanks, Ernie.
Yes, sir.